Alright guys, welcome back. My name is Timmy Tran. I'm your link to the fire within and to God. Do you understand guys? You got a power to change anything, anytime in your life. It doesn't matter what you believe in, what your family, been growing up for, for generations, okay? Um, and all these things around the world, all the religion around the world, right? It come to this point now, right? That you had that power. Now you've been, let's say you've been learning all the knowledge, all kind of stuff like that. Or what you gonna do today? You see everything. What are you gonna do? What's your next step, right? Or your next step, is to learn more, or to take a certain action that could change yourself and change your life, right? It starts small. It don't have to be. A lot of people, oh, I need to be big. No, it don't have to be big. It just has a small step, right? Each small step will build up, right? Make you stronger. Same thing, right? And you suffer, you're not where you are in your life. You know what? You got to learn. You know what? Okay, what I need to learn to do some small step to change my life, right? You got to start with there. You can't. If you want to swim, if you really want to be a good swimmer, you got to start with a small step. You don't jump in a big ass, pot of water or a big swimming pool and you don't want to swim, and you expect you want to swim, you're gonna drown, right? The same thing with everything, in your life, right? You got to start with small. Now we're gonna say, what, for a lot of us, um, most people learn what's around them and learn, uh, back then, well, you can learn where you surround with the people around, right? And you learn from there, right? Now with the internet, it's like a big old library, right? They got fiction, non-fiction, people cut and paste. So you don't know what is who's telling the truth or who's not, and we gotta be really careful if somebody trying to, dumb down on other people, tell, bad about other people. You gotta watch out with that. You know what I'm saying? Because evil people like to, when they talk bad about other people, they gossip about other people. They don't know the truth, right? So they gossip about other people. They say, "Oh, this person do this person is what." It's like a bully, right? Yeah, and we have a lot of those out there, right? And online today, because back then you can only learn the information around you. Now you can learn, people that don't even know you across the world, and and they don't even care who you are, as long as they're making a dollar or two, of this stream. You know what I'm saying? And you have no idea. You say, oh man, okay, yeah, stuff like that. Let me give him some money, right? You got to be careful with that guy. I mean, that's like, back then people called it a scam, right? You can't tell people a certain thing and expect them and suddenly people get money. But a lot of people are, in the world today really gullible because they lonely and they looking for gratification. And somebody tell them something, you know, um, good, because they get mad, upset. Instead of telling them, like, the true thing about God, about how they can, they can improve themselves. They look and say, oh yeah, because they're looking for negative, right? And somebody gonna feed you negative. What happens? You agree to negative, and what happens? You fork your money out instead of giving your money to somebody that telling the truth, right? That can help you, right? You gotta help yourself first. But if you dumb down other people and tell bad about other people, yeah, there's gonna be bad people out there, right? And the thing is that you cannot listen to people, gossip, right? There's a lot of gossip online, right? Everybody have their own, idea, opinion, all kind of stuff that, but they all is just, gossip and clickbait, right? And take your money. And if you're not careful, you fall for that trap. That's all it is, right? And you gotta understand, you know what? If the person talk about, about helping me, or about bullying somebody else, or say somebody else, doing this, somebody doing that, and you don't even know. You cost the word. How do you know, right? Because they take a clip of somebody and say, oh, this guy is a bad person, and you have no idea, and they show a clip of something, they can put it together, and tell oh, this person doing this, and you have no idea. That's what happened to a lot of innocent people in the past, right? Bad people always, make gossip and say things, bad. So that way we have war. So that way people fight each other is because they create a war, and stuff like that, and so they can make money. Especially from people that in charge of certain certain entities, right? Because human, if we fight, what happens? We create chaos, destruction, destroy things. So that way they can make material and build things. Instead of build material and start building things and prosper that way, they use human back and forward, and what do you end up doing? We hurt each other, right? That's most important. And I don't know what the entity can, maybe that you know, that is part of, the human don't learn. I don't know. There's like, you know, evil identity, but is that something inhuman though? You know what I'm saying? Because human, you have a choice. But God give you that choice to be good or bad, right? And if you have a problem with principle of God, then most likely, you know, you'll be good because that's what He designed you for. But He give you a choice to be bad too. So that way you make the mistake, other people can see your mistake, and they say, "Oh, I ain't doing that." So if you don't learn not to make the mistake, your mistake is learned by, you know, your story is gonna be learned by somebody else that somebody want to learn, right? To avoid that mistake, right? Your mistake is helping somebody else avoid that mistake. If you continue to make a mistake, you don't learn, then you know your life is just a example for other people to see how messed up this person is. He keep on making the wrong choice over and over again. So other people can look at it and say, "Oh man, yeah, I don't want to be like that guy, right? So I make a better choice." So a lot of people, don't learn. So they live in the same state of life until they can't do it no more, right? And don't have nothing, and that's how it works, guys. So life is like God give you the power of free will to learn, to build, to prosper. And if you don't have that, if you don't believe in God and follow that kind of thing, you're gonna follow somebody else. Because most people, believe it or not, whether they believe in God or not, they run of their emotion, not real principle. That guide them. Their emotion guide them, or their feeling that guide them, right? So they end up nowhere, right? Because feeling, emotion is like a tidal wave. It's like a storm, come and go, right? It's like a sun or moon. They come for a couple hours, then it die down. The sun comes out a couple hours, it die down. That's what you're feeling, emotion, and that's what most people are living on, right? Instead of living by God principle, right? The principle that fixed, nobody can change, right? The principle that nobody can change. No, entity or no, God, being in the universe can change what God principle has instilled, you know, in this universe where when He created it, right? You cannot change that. Bad choice will have consequence. You cannot change that. Good choice, you get reward. You cannot change that. As you are human, if you don't learn that, then you know where you are. You make bad choice, you're gonna get consequence, right? Or you're gonna hang around people that make bad choice, and you can might face consequence too. The consequence is not that God punish you. It's like other men, law punish you. It's because, man law don't cannot distinguish, you know, uh, uh, you know, what do you call it? Like they punish people in group, right? If you hang around bad people, make bad choice, you're gonna face the same consequence they are, right? And that's why it came out individual, right? You got individual person, you gotta learn for yourself, right? That's you came out in the world by yourself, so you gotta learn by yourself, and you gotta learn if you learn the right thing, what happened? You can be around the right people, that have the same principle. If you have the right principle, what happened? They care about you. They understand you, all kinds of stuff. If you don't have the same principle, you have the one that feeling. You're distracted. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you will live in the world where we can, we have to live with the people that don't really believe God like you do, and you know, and you just got to let them be who they are, right? And you cannot change them. You can be around them, do a good thing, hoping they can change. But otherwise, you got to be aware of the action they take, and a certain thing. And if you surround them, you know that they're gonna face certain thing, and you just cannot change that, right? And you can do the best you can as a person to be good to them, like Jesus did, right? Jesus not gonna condemn you. He's not gonna tell you, what to believe or not. He's just telling you, what is his message to you about God, and it's up to you to make that choice, right? If you don't make that choice, you can face the consequence. That's the way it is. All right, guys, change your life, follow God, Jesus Christ, follow Ten Commandments, change your life forever. All right, bye bye.